Thank you, Mr Assistant Speaker, and it is with pleasure that I speak on this matter of public importance, Vietnam Veterans Day and Long Tan Day, and I thank the member for Bankstown for bringing this particular issue to the Parliament. I too will be attending a commemorative service in Muswellbrook on Saturday, and I have done for quite a number of years now. And if anyone's driven through Muswellbrook there, they'll see that the local veterans, and I might add with the support of the inmates over many years from the St Heliers Correctional Facility in Muswellbrook, have built and maintained an extraordinary memorial and series of memorials for different theatres of war, but in particular the Vietnam War in Muswellbrook, and of course the event. I used to go to the event as representing the Upper Hunter Shire Council as the mayor, and of course I've been attending the commemorative service as the member since 2015. I've been just having a bit of a look before and looking on the Anzac portal of the Commonwealth Government's site here, and there's some extraordinary information that they have, and when you read through that, and it just brings home the importance of mateship and the extraordinary levels of courage that individuals display when they go into any form of theatre or any form of battle. And in May 1966, the first soldiers within the 6th RAR, Royal Australian Regiment, turned up, and there were more soldiers turned up. The remainder of them, of that particular regiment, arrived in June. And of course, so the first soldiers arrived in May, the remainder of the soldiers arrived in June, and of course in August, not too far down the track from their arrival, the battle, major battles occurred, and of course on the 18th of August 1966, the Battle of Long Tan took place. There were some horrific casualties, and as has been mentioned, and of course the Australian soldiers, assisted also by the New Zealand soldiers and in part the American soldiers, faced extraordinarily tough situations where they really didn't know what they were getting into. They didn't know what sort of firepower was coming back from the Viet Cong and their enemy, and they were in some respects going in blind, and the levels of courage, for example, with the battle as it took place, and the level of courage from the individual soldiers and the collective regiment, they were really under heavy fire and getting a lot of casualties and a lot of dead. And of course the helicopter pilots were flying at tree height to be able to deliver more ammunition to our soldiers during that particular battle, and literally flying. You can only imagine what it would be like and how it would feel to be not only on the ground but also flying at tree height as a helicopter pilot, delivering those essential pieces of equipment such as the ammunition and of course blankets for the wounded and so forth. It must have been a hellishly scary situation to be in, and I think when the courage of the Australian soldier has been proven through many theatres of war, in that particular theatre of war, in that particular battle that the Australian soldiers were involved in, I think only cemented in not only Australia's mind and the Australian community's mind, but the world's mind, that the Australian soldier is someone to be feared, revered and respected. And we thank, on behalf of all of Australia, the commitment that those soldiers made, some making the ultimate sacrifice. And of course, having and knowing a lot of Vietnam veterans myself in my community, I respect them enormously, and we can't thank them enough for the efforts that they made on our behalf.
Yeah.
I call the member for Fairfield.